Do you ever hear yourself repeating the same thing over and over and think, why am I still saying this? You're not yelling, you're calm, you're using that patient voice, but it still feels like nagging, even to you. And every time you repeat yourself, it's like a little bit of your hope seeps out. You start wondering, why won't they just do it? They know how, they've done it before. And the more you ask, the more it feels like you're pushing a boulder uphill. And for autistic kids, it happens a lot. Sometimes their brain just needs a little more time to process transitions, or their nervous system might be flooded from the day, and it might just be a child or teen choosing to ignore their parent. It all feels the same, right? All you see is the inaction, and that leaves you feeling helpless. Like you're somehow doing something wrong just by trying to help. If that sounds familiar, you're in the right place. We're going to talk about that today. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Andrea Pollack. I am a parenting educator and coach and mom to a 26-year-old autistic young man. I used to think repetition was patience. I thought if I can just stay calm and keep reminding him, eventually he'll do it. But every time I repeated myself, my son seemed to withdraw a little bit more until I felt like I was talking to a wall. You know that phrase, right? It's demoralizing when you try so hard and the result is silence. When your voice fills the room but nothing happens and you start to feel invisible in your own home. Ever feel that way? And then someone, maybe a family member, maybe a professional, says, you just have to be more firm, as if you haven't already tried everything short of shouting. That's when I started thinking, what is wrong with me? Why can't I get through? That's not failure, it's fatigue. You're doing your best in an impossible moment. Let's talk about, though, why this kind of repetition backfires. When we repeat, it's because we care. How do I know this? Because, it would just be easier to do everything yourself, but you don't, because you want your child to learn and grow and succeed. So you keep trying. But here's what happens to our kids. Those repeated words can start to feel like background noise or like pressure building with every syllable. The visual that makes me think of is that Lucille Ball scene, the one where she's working on an assembly line boxing chocolates, and suddenly they start coming faster and faster, and she panics and she starts shoving them in her mouth and stuffs them in her clothes. Back then, I certainly didn't see it that way. If I had, I would have done it differently. But what I see now is that I don't think my son was trying to tune me out. He was trying to process while more kept coming at him. One night, who am I kidding? Many nights, I would say, brush your teeth like 5 times, and each time softer, more desperate, and he would just sit there, didn't even look at me. I thought, he's ignoring me. But later I realized he was probably just overloaded. He couldn't even start. If this is hitting close to home, if you've ever found yourself saying the same thing for the 4th or 5th time, that feeling, that mix of frustration and guilt, take a second to hit the thumbs up or share this with another parent who needs to hear it. Because you're so not alone in this. Every parent I work with has been stuck in this loop at some point. Maybe their nervous system is. It doesn't mean they've lost the skill. It means they've run out of energy to use it independently. Maybe your child brushes their teeth independently every morning, but at night they stall or melt down. If that's the case, you might consider saying something like, seems like you might need a little help tonight, even though I know you can do this on your own. I'll help you a little extra tonight. So maybe you get out the toothbrush and put the toothpaste on. It sends such a powerful message to your child. It says, I see your effort, not just your performance. And I know that it's fair. There's a fear that if we help too much, they'll never do it alone. Or if we help this time, they'll lean on us forever. I've had that fear too. But supporting doesn't erase independence. I think it actually preserves it because it keeps the experience safe. Pushing past your child's capacity can sometimes break trust. Meeting them where they are builds it. And this isn't about doing it for them. It's about doing it with them at a level that they can handle tonight or right now. Because tomorrow night might look different. Nagging usually ends the same way. We repeat until we explode, or we give up and we do it ourselves. There's a middle ground that I think can be a really healthy place for us to rest in, which is helping without taking over. That might look like, in the toothbrushing example, handing them the toothbrush, putting on the toothpaste, starting the water, but then letting them brush themselves. It might mean sitting nearby as a silent presence as they get dressed. It might be inviting them to get started by helping them initially. Something like emptying the dishwasher. Like, come on, let's get started. Let's do this together. Let's start together. And then you can start and then let them finish. Maybe the issue for them is just starting. Maybe it's offering a simple prompt like shirt next, and then resisting the urge to fill in the silence with more words. I know I do that. Every time you choose support over repetition, you're modeling what it looks like to regroup instead of react. You're teaching flexibility, not through lectures, but through example. And sometimes our child isn't the only one out of capacity. If you've ever fallen asleep without washing your face or left the dishes until morning, even though you could have done them, then you already know. Some days you just can't do what you know you could do in other circumstances. So before you ask again, take a breath and check your own reserves too, because it has to be the calm in the storm. And let's face it, usually it has to be us. It should be. It's also okay. The calm starts with silence. When you stop repeating and instead start connecting, you create the space for your child's capability to show up. Sometimes that means saying less. Sometimes it means stepping in gently. Either way, it's leadership, not leniency. You're not nagging because you're failing. You're nagging because you care, because silence feels like giving up. But sometimes silence is grace. If this gave you a little breathing room today, I hope you'll consider sharing it with another parent who's tired of hearing their own voice echo throughout the house. And if you want to learn how to build your child's independence without constant reminders, I'll put a link below to an application to book a call to see if my Confident Parenting program is a good fit for you and your family. Because connection isn't always about saying more, it's about being heard, even in the quiet. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you'll consider giving it a like, and I'll see you in the next one.